Who's Oh, wait. Grinders, today is our tally keeper's birthday. So, happy birthday, Muffins. Please join in as well. Happy birthday to you. Happy
And that's before my turn. Fine rendering, gentlemen.
All right, here we are as we start off. Oh my gosh, there is a long fly ball to left field into the valley. The left fielder went down into the valley to make the play, did not catch it, through to the cutoff at center field over the center fielder's head as Mr. Keckner is going to round second and head for third with a leadoff triple. My goodness, that's the start to the game that you want to see if you are the Deep River Grinders from Indiana, as they close out the 31st annual Ohio Cup Vintage Baseball Festival with their longtime friends, the Ohio Village Muffins. This is certainly a match to behold as Don Big Bat Anderson, legend of Midwest Vintage Baseball and the Ohio Village Muffins, is behind the dish, delivering to Mr. Budden, who hits the ball in between the shortstop and the third baseman, allowing Mr. Keckner to score easily as Mr. Budden takes his first base. Lots of baseball happening very quickly as I am attempting to collect lineups, call the game, and just be, charming. Ohio Village Muffins, this is the last game of the Ohio Cup, as there Mr. Pizzowitz hits the ball to the first baseman. Craig Anderson's going to scoop, step on the bag for the first out in the inning and throw over to second base, but is unable to get Mr. Budden. One out, runner on second, Mr. Williamson. Mrs. Williamson up to the plate. From my vantage point this morning, there were no benches in front of me so I could see the field, but now they have placed benches in front of me, so I am only getting a glimpse of the striker if individuals move out of the way. I'm going to assume that this is the Muffin O squad, since I already called the V squad earlier this morning. Ground ball through the wickets. Shortstop's going to pick it up, throw it over to Mr. Anderson, Aces Anderson, who's going to throw the ball back to his dad, Big Bat Anderson. We have two outs, runner on third. Fernero up to bat, sporting a dashing mustache. I've said this before, but
My hands are super sticky.
when it comes to the Ohio Cup, if there's a team you want to watch play, Fernero's going to pop it up straight to the catcher. Catcher's not going to be able to hang on to it. It's going to be... line shot right up the middle, past the shortstop. Mr. Budden's going to tally an ace. Mr. Finero takes his first. Mr. Finney is going to be up next. There's not a club that you want to see play vintage baseball more than the Grinders. They are such a unique, jolly bunch of individuals and have such a rich history with the Ohio Village Muffins and the Ohio Cup. It is it's truly a sight to behold. Ground ball right up the middle. Shortstop's going to pick it up, flip it over to Deerfoot Moore at second base for the third out of the inning. The Grinders plate 2 aces that inning as the Muffins come up to the dish. Mr. Moore will be leading off for the Muffins here in the bottom of the first. A lot of history on this Muffin Club. As any club that's populated with the Andersons is going to have a lot of vintage baseball history. Go back into the archives and you can listen to a episode with Don Big Bat Anderson and an 8-minute interview with Craig Anderson as he talks about his love of everything cryptic and paranormal as Mr. Moore allows the pitch to go.
Fine toss, sir. Strike one.
There's another one.
You won that good. Don't tell him it was then. Bad pitch, sir.
There's another one.
Does that take the strike back?
Ooh, there's a shot right up in the center field. Center fielder's playing deep. He's not going to be able to get that on the first hop as Deerfoot Moore makes his first bag, bringing up Craig Anderson. Yeah, I believe it was a year ago this week we spoke with Craig Anderson about all of his paranormal investigations and his love of everything cryptic. It's a fantastic episode. As Aces Anderson's going to lift the ball into left field. The left fielder was playing more towards the center field, and the ball goes into the valley. Deerfoot Moore is going to round second and head to third. The ball's going to be cut off. Had that ball not been cut off, he might have been thrown out at third base, but hindsight's 20/20 as we have runners at second and third here in the bottom of the first with Mr. Stetler at the plate.
I say, if Chip does tally, only one run will score. The piano will not count.
From past history, Mr. Stetler always told me that he never swings at the first pitch, so allow me just to do that one, just to get it out of the way. Second pitch, he's going to lift the ball into left field. It's not going to make the tree, but the left fielder was playing deep. So was the shortstop, who's going to range back and catch that one-handed on the hop for the first out of the inning. But Mr. Deerfoot Moore is going to plate an ace as Aces Anderson makes his third bag. One out, bringing up Mr. Good. Full capital. Josh Good. Full-time Muffin. He's going to swing like he wants to hit the ball into the outfield, but he's going to hit it straight to the third baseman. Aces Anderson's going to run home. Third base is going to pick it up, fire it home. Field it by the catcher for the second out of the inning.
I saw right where that ball was going.
Do not adjust your television sets. That is the largest bat. Somewhere, Pine Tark is nodding in approval at this display. Captain Ed Schumann is going to point out that the rules state that the diameter of the barrel of the bat has specific measurements, and the bat that Mr. Seddon was using did not meet those measurements. Therefore, the bat was not a legal bat.
Do as you like, sir.
It's all the way over.
All right.
Oh, that's all right.
The big back can swing.
Whoa!
Nice pitch.
Perfect.
You got the big bat. You hit that one.
All right, we're all caught up there. A lot was happening. Captain Ed held a vote to see if the bat would be allowed. Mr. Seddon's going to swing, a mighty swing, but the ball will go into foul territory. Still have a runner on first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Oh, there we go. Did not like that pitch. The ball is lifted to the pitcher. The pitcher decides he wants to take it. He's going to take it off the chest, actually, as Mr. Seddon will make his first. Mr. Good will make his second. Bringing up Mr. Batchelder. These two clubs are very familiar with each other, so you're definitely going to hear a lot of chatter out there on the baseball field. All in good fun, of course. Line drive past the shortstop into left field. Mr. Good's going to run with some motivation to third base, prompting the throw into home. Bases are loaded for Mike Purcell. They call him Triple Sack on the Muffins. On the Capitals, yet to have a solid nickname. I want to just say this for the record. White makes him look very washed out. So we'll see what happens here. Pulls the ball down the third baseline. Third baseman's going to knock it down. He's going to find it, kick it around, and tag the base for the third out of the inning. So let's see. The Muffins tallied 1 ace, but the Grinders still lead 2-1 heading into the top of the second inning. I apologize for the delayed response of the inning. As yep, there it is. Up, oh, there. Thank you. You're welcome. Folks, shenanigans are happening all over the field. Muffin first baseman, El Presidente, Mr. Joel Armbruster, had a grinder fill in for him while he ran over to the tent that we are broadcasting from to refresh himself with a delicious beverage. And there's a swing and a miss as
Entertaining.
Better with a mustache.
Here, him.
Yeah,
Mike
hello,
Purcell
yeah.
has taken over hurling
Got one of
duties
all that.
for the Ohio Village Muffins. He hurls with the best of them, is what I say. He has certainly baffled barrel roller. Oh, as there is a pop-up in the middle of the infield. Mr. Settler's going to move on it, not catch it on the first bounce, catch it on the second bounce, but collect it to make the throw over at first base for the first out. Mr. Purcell has baffled barrel roller all season long because I believe the term is he's amphibious. He uses both hands to hurl the ball. As there's a pose down happening at first base that you can see. There's a high ball chopped down to Mr. Armbruster, who's going to collect and take and make the play himself for the second out of the inning. Some clubs say that when Mr. Armbruster's out in the field, you can sit down the other defensive players because he's the only player you need out there, as he has recorded 2 outs this inning.
I'll pretend I have pom-poms. Come on, Jim, hit it. You can't do it. Nobody can. Yay!
Let's
Jim!
go! Let's go, Jim!
Not as good as the pom-poms, but
It's just not good.
The Grinders are certainly a supportive group of individuals.
Aye, old man.
Younger than you.
I know it.
Not much.
As oh, wait up, here we go.
Point, Jim, the difference is negligible.
There we go. Did not enjoy those pitches. Oh gosh, that was loud. Sorry, wrong button. Turn that down. He's going to hit the ball up into the air. It looks like it's going to hit fair, but go foul. Roll into the bench as Jim makes his first bag. The Grinders are super excited for him.
As clear as any other decision during this game.
I looked away and there he
They've all
is.
been sort of defeated one way or another.
Right.
Or is this Jimbo? No, yeah, that was Mr. Basala. This is Jimbo up to the bag.
The attacker is waving his hand at me.
As they are the Muffins are able to get the third out at first base. The Grinders are unable to plate an ace as we head into the bottom of the second inning. It really helps when you get here, for those who are podcasting, that you set up where no one's going to be in front of you. For the longest time, I always thought Barrel Roller was just a big baby who cried and cried and cried about things, people being in his way, but no, he's on to something. When people are in your way, you cannot see what is happening in the play, in the field. So, the Grinders retired the bottom half of their inning as Mr. Armbruster is going to line a ball out to left field and easily take his first bag.
Don't hit Jim. He's a nice guy.
I've never been, I don't know.
That would bring up that's going to be a foul ball for Mr. Harshberger, who is a star of the television. If you look up Mysteries at the Museum, the episode on who invented the curveball, you will find Mr. Harshberger as the antagonist to the protagonist Candy Cummings. He's going to drill the ball out to left field. It's going to get over the shortstop's head, but he's going to be able to... Oh, he won't be able to hold on to it as Mr. Armbruster will make his second bag. Runners at first and second with Mr. Boop up to bat. I believe it was almost, I think it was 9 years ago that Mysteries at the Museums came and did a piece on Martin's Baseball Museum. Tracy Martin, legendary Ohio Village Muffin, in his baseball museum in his basement as Mr. Boop lines the ball on the ground, some would call it a grounder, out to right field, not fielded by anybody but the right fielder. Throw comes in, bases are loaded for the top of the order. Mr. Moore coming to the plate. Yeah, it was a June 9 years ago. Mysteries in Museums came out and did a whole piece on one of the articles from Mr. Martin's museum, and you can see some familiar faces from the vintage baseball community in that piece. Mr. Moore is going to line the ball to the shortstop. It's going to get by the shortstop into left field as Mr. Armbruster is going to score. Throws coming in. It's going to hold all runners to one base. As bases are still loaded with Craig Anderson coming up to the plate. No outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Reese's Anderson's going to find the gap. It's not going to be gapped enough as the shortstop's going to range over that ground, slowed the ball down. Mr. Boop will be forced out at the third bag. Mr. Anderson will make his first bag. Mr. Moore will make his second. Mr. Harshberger will tally an ace for the Muffins with 2 outs here, bringing Mr. Stetler to the plate, who never swings at the first pitch, so here we go. He enjoyed that hurl. As a hurler, when they don't swing at the first pitch and then you throw a really good one and they let that go by, it's frustrating. Swings at the second pitch, is going to line it out to left field. It's going to be played off the gravel road. Sunday Hop for the second out is going to throw the ball to the third baseman, but it's not going to get to the third baseman. He's going to throw it all the way to the scoreboard, allowing Mr. Moore to tally an ace, and Mr. Anderson eventually will make it to the third bag. For those of you who are just hearing, it is Diamond Amy Dickerson's birthday today, so she was serenaded by these two groups with a severely off-key rendition of Happy Birthday, bringing up Mr. Good to the plate. Go back in the archives to see, to listen to, or go to the YouTube page to see the interview with Amy Dickerson. As Mr. Good lines the ball to the third baseman, it's going to be a too hard to handle in the air as Mr. Good takes his first bag. Mr. Anderson will remain at the third bag, learning from his mistake the last time. The thing with the Ohio Village... Mr. Good's getting a runner. He's got this problem. It's called 2 bad knees. So he has a runner coming in for him. Because not only is this ground very uneven, it's very hard. So it hurts as the ball is still being presented. Mr. Seddon still has not taken to the plate. There he is. The Ohio Village Muffins do a fantastic job of going out into the crowd to talk to cranks and promote the game of vintage baseball. Sometimes they do too good of a job of it and they miss their batting assignment. Mr. Seddon let that one go. You let that one go. We got runners on the corners with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Muffins are looking to extend their lead as Mr. Seddon drives the ball out into right field. What a fine piece of hitting. Substitute Mr. Good's going to get hit in the leg on the throw to second. Awfully dramatic. I know bad acting when I see it. Oh, and he's back up. Okay, there we go. Mr. Anderson is able to tally his ace. With runners on first and second, Mr. Batchelder up to the plate.
Don't just think that could have been you. I would have fallen down. I would have fallen down before I got there.
Oh, he's going to lift the ball over the tree out into left field. The left fielder's ranging back, not going to be able to negotiate the valley before the ball gets over his head as Mr. Good, temporary Mr. Good will score, Mr. Seddon will score, Mr. Batchelder will take his second base on a fine piece of hitting. That's honestly, like when you were hitting at Muffin Meadow, if you are a pull hitter, Muffin Meadow is going to be up your alley because you're either going to hit it into the tree or you're going to hit it so the left fielder has to lose his sight of the ball for a second and a half. As Mr. Purcell lines the ball down to third baseline, third baseman's going to kick it out into to left field as Mr. Purcell takes his first bag. We are back to where we started this inning with Mr. Armbruster. Started off this inning, the Muffins have been able to bat around. Good on them. There we go. Mr. Armbruster is going to really get into a ball. That guy makes baseball bats. Left fielder was on to his ways and camped in the valley, running up the hill to retrieve the ball on the fly with his hands to record the third out of the inning. The Muffins tallied 6 aces that inning to extend their lead 7-2, heading into the third inning. The Grinders have the top of their order coming to the plate. However, they did, I think these gentlemen are working on their third match of the day, possibly their 6th match of the weekend. So they have been really out there. Energy levels are depleting in these later parts of the match. There's going to be a ball hit out to center field, fielded on the first hop for out number 1. Actually, I don't know who. No, I know who that was. I'm sorry. That is not Jimbo. We're back to the top of the order with Mr. Keckner, who is continually driving the ball. I've never seen somebody take a ball that high and drive it that far. That ball might still be rolling. He is rounding second as the ball is just now hitting the deep cutoff, the first cutoff, as it's thrown into the second cutoff, and he is standing on third base for his second triple of the day. Holy goodness, he crushed that ball. That guy swings the bat like he needs to like talk to somebody. I mean, good on him. Mr. Budden is up to the plate. Mr. Anderson, Big Bat Anderson, is at the behind the dish delivering the pitches. No, did not like that one. A swing and a pop fly to the third bag that Mr. Good will charge in and collect on the first bounce for out number 2. Mr. Pizzawiz up to bat. It is the hottest it's been today. It's currently like 92 degrees. Those big puffy clouds have given way to very small clouds that are pretty spread out. So we are, right in the middle of a very hot summer day on Labor Day weekend here. Ground ball to the second baseman, fielded by Mr. Moore, who's going to flip it over to Mr. Anderson for the third out of the inning. The ace will not cross in time. Grinders are held to no runs as the Muffins still hold the lead 7-2. We are at the 30-minute mark of this match. I believe this match started a little late, so according to the official timekeeper, there's only like 20 minutes left in the match, but we are 30 minutes into the match. The final match of the 31st Annual Ohio Cup Vintage Baseball Festival. Thank goodness for the breeze, let's be honest, because if it wasn't breezy, this would be a lot harder to do. Muffins are looking at the bottom of their order, coming up to the top. Mr. Harshberger is going to line the ball over to the shortstop. Shortstop's going to bobble it, field it, but Mr. Harshberger is kind of fast. He's going to be able to make his first bag. Mr. Boop will follow. Go. Let that one go. Mr. Boop it's a more defensive swing, honestly. Send the ball out to right field. Right fielder's going to scoop and try and make a throw. Throw's going to go out into left field. Left fielder's going to have to throw the ball under the tree to try and get Mr. Harshberger heading to third. Very close play. Everybody will agree that he made it with runners on first and third with the top of the order, Mr. Deerfoot Moore at the plate. Mr. Stutler is delivering the pitches for the Grinders. Mr. Stutler actually is the final batter for the Grinder Baseball Club. Deerfoot Moore is going to swing. The ball's not going to go where he intends it as it rests firmly in the catcher's hands, but then the catcher dropped the ball as he has found a new life. That was a lucky foul tick.
Rule number 34, right? Yes, sir. 33 of the rules of baseball. Rule number 34 was Richards.
Mr. Moore's going to swing, lifting the ball over to the shortstop, who's ranging out from under the tree to collect it with his hands for the first out of the inning.
He had to work for it, though. He said put it in his hand, so I put it in his hand.
I ain't seen that you work for anything.
He had to move to get to it.
That brings Mr. Anderson to the plate with runners on first and third.
You're taller than that last short. Hey!
He resembles everyone.
He's going to chop the ball down the third baseline. Third baseman's not going to be able to collect it as Mr. Harshberger's going to score. Mr. Boop will take his second. Mr. Anderson will take his... we are very close to the first base area, and so a variety of these gentlemen have taken time to acknowledge my location. Oh, here's Mr. Stitler. There we go. There we go. Never swings at the first pitch, but today has been swinging at the second ones. Likes those a lot. He's going to swing and drive the ball past the shortstop into left field, advancing all runners one base as we have bases loaded. With Mr. Good coming to the plate. I'm not sure of what his muffin moniker is, but his capital moniker that we're trying out right now is Oso. Oso Good at the plate. He's going to line the ball down the third baseline over the third baseman's outreached arms, advancing all runners one base, plating a run. Mr. Boop will score an ace as bases are still loaded for the captain, Mr. Seddon, coming to the plate. Oso's getting his complimentary runner at first bag. It's a miracle he's even standing with those knees. Ooh, Mr. Seddon's going to take a mighty swing. Ever so slightly missed the ball, so he gets another chance. With one out and bases loaded, I mean, this is a very advantageous position the Muffins find themselves in. In our final match here at the Ohio Cup, I encourage, if you're listening to this, I encourage you, if you're managing a club, to reach out to the Muffins about 2024 as Mr. Seddon sends the ball into right field, advancing runners one base. Mr. Stettler takes a huge round at third base. They're going to hold him, but they were able to get Mr. Seddon at first base for the second out of the inning. A very aware right fielder fielded the ball cleanly and had time to make the throw, but it did tally an ace. Everyone's moving a little slower, and everyone's got a little bit of a limp when they walk by the final game on the final day of the Ohio Cup. Mr. Batchelder is up to the plate. 2 outs with... There's a ball lifted to the shortstop, who's going to collect it with his hands for the third out of the inning. The Muffins play 1, 2, 3 more runs that inning. I'm unofficial, so it's gonna take me a second. I stand corrected. The Muffins tallied 4 aces, giving them the score 11-2. Heading into the 4th inning, the arbiter, Captain Ed Schumann, referred to this as after 3 innings of complete chaos, and no truer words have ever been spoken, as the Muffins are on to their 3rd pitcher of the day, Deerfoot Moore. Mrs. Williamson at the plate. Mighty swing. Ticked so hard the catcher was not able to handle it, as we are approaching the 40-minute mark of this match. There's a nice chop to the third baseman. Mr. Good's going to scoop and throw over to Aces Anderson for the first out of the inning. Mr. Fernero's at the plate with a very dashing mustache as he lifts the ball over the pitcher's head into the shortstop area. Mr. Armbruster was expecting a larger bounce and was unable to field it, and we have a runner on first base here. The Grinders are going to get something going. Mr. Finney at the plate. Runner on first. A ball lifted in between first and second base. Aces Anderson's going to try and dive and make the throw. He got the dive down. There's a lot happening as all runners are going to continue to run. The ball ends up over here by the by our podcast area. So shenanigans are happening as Deerfoot Moore has collected the ball and an apple. I'm not sure anybody is aware of what has happened. And there's a runner at a second and third base. Mr. Moore has an apple in his hand and not the ball as he delivers it. Oh. Classic. Had it been a better pitch, I'm sure they would have swung, but the ball is back in play and delivered and not accepted. Another one. There we go.
If you shoot him, you have to use a silencer.
It's interesting that I don't think they'll make it to the 5th inning. As the ball is lifted to the shortstop, Mr. Armbruster ranges back, catches it in the air, throw over to Mr. Good, who will double up the runner at third base for out number 3. These clubs enjoy conversation and they enjoy each other's company. So there is a lot of talking that takes place during these matches, as we are at the 42-minute mark and just now entering the 4th inning.
Step lively, friends. Step lively.
At this point in the Ohio Cup, people are moving slower. The focus is more on the company that we are keeping rather than the score, as the Muffins are due up this inning with Mr. Purcell leading off. Mr. Stutler hurls a fine pitch, recognized by Mr. Purcell, but he did not swing. There's going to be a line shot just past the shortstop into left field. He's going to be confused, pick up a apple maybe? No, he's got the ball as Mr. Purcell takes his first base. That'll bring up Mr. Armbruster. He's been hitting the ball quite well today. It's almost like He's constantly around baseball bats and knows how to use them. It's weird. Runner on first here in the bottom of the fourth.
Over the plate, at least.
Mr. Armbruster didn't like that one. He's going to line the ball right up the middle, just past the outreached arm of the shortstop into center field as Mr. Purcell takes his second bag and Mr. Armbruster takes his first. The Muffins are still staying hot at the plate here as we have Mr. Harshberger coming up to the plate. He's had a very good day at the plate as well. Let's see if he can continue that trend with a runner on second and a runner on first. He's going to swing at the first offering. He's going to line it down the third baseline. It's going to get past the third baseman, and all runners will advance one base as we have bases loaded with no outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Bringing up Mr. Boop to the plate. He too has had a really good day at the plate, and that's super helpful when you're playing these games. You want the bottom half of your order to be able to produce runs and hits to keep the momentum going until you get to the top of your order. Bases loaded here in the bottom of the fourth. Mr. Boop's going to ground the ball back to the hurler, who's going to throw it home for the first out of the inning. Mr. Purcell will walk off in a defeated manner as we have the top of the order coming up. Mr. Deerfoot Moore with bases loaded.
We can do it again on this side. Well, you're gonna
You can see that there's a lot of looks like there's some shenanigans going on here. I mean, and that's one thing. If you've never seen these two clubs play each other, they've been playing each other for a very long time. So they enjoy some shenanigans. You'll notice that people aren't running out in between innings, and they're really being more deliberate in their movement as the heat of the day and the mileage of the weekend has caught up with individuals. Mr. Moore is going to line a shot straight to the shortstop, who's going to scoop it up eventually and toss it over to second, forcing out Mr. Boop for the second out, but Mr. Armbruster will come across the plate, plating another run for the Muffins as they have runners on the corners with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth, bringing up Aces Anderson to the plate. He's going to swing at the first pitch and line it over an outreached arm of the third baseman, who just didn't get up high enough to knock that one down, allowing Mr. Harshberger to score. We have runners at second and first. Mr. Stittler will be up to the plate. This Muffin squad has really been able to hit some well-placed balls just out of reach of the fielders. So, I mean, they've really had a great day at the plate today. There's going to be a shot out to left field. The left fielder is going to range and try and make a sliding grab. Won't be able to make it in time. We're back to bases loaded.
Oh, thank you, sorry.
Mr. Good coming up to the plate.
I didn't want to.
Mr. Good has had a great day at the plate as well, which is a medical marvel, considering the man has not one but 2 non-functioning knees. As he lines the shot off the hand of the third baseman into left field, they're still going to try and make a play and get the out at third. It won't be in time as Mr. Deerfoot Moore crosses home plate. Bases are still loaded here with the captain, Mr. Seddon, coming to the plate with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. You got to imagine it's super difficult to captain a Muffin squad, be the co-chair of the organization, be heavily responsible for putting on such an amazing event, and still finding an opportunity to play baseball, even if it's the very last game of the day on the very last day of the festival. Let's see what happens. A mighty swing. Just didn't make contact. Let's see if he regroups here. Oh, and he does. He's going to drive the ball out to center field, but it will be caught on the first bounce for the third out of the inning. Said it before and I'll say it again. Pound game sucks. I mean that with love. That will do it for this inning. The Muffins were able to plate 3 aces to extend their lead 14-2.
14 for the Muffins, 2 for the Grinders. For all intents and purposes, this will be the final inning.
I believe I heard Captain Ed, the arbiter of this match, announce that this is the final at-bat of the match, the final inning of the 2023 Ohio Cup. The gentle people from Hobart, Indiana are going to need some divine intervention to plate 12 runs in an inning, but you know what? I've seen it done. It's happened. So anything is possible here. As we kick off the top of the 5th inning with Mr. Crass at the plate. As I stated before many times during this match, I believe the Deep River Grinders have been attending the Ohio Cup since the early 90s, as there's going to be a ball put out into left field. It's going to be short enough that the left fielder won't be able to come in and catch it on the bounce, but the ball will be made back into the infield, holding Mr. Crass to first base with a leadoff single. Mr. Basala will be next. And speaking of being a part of the Ohio Cup since the early 90s, Mr. Basala is one of the individuals, one of the OGs, if you will, of the Deep River Grinders, who has continually made the trip year in and year out. And we are so lucky that he is a part of this club and a part still willing to come to this event. As he swings at that offering and did not make contact. There's a very supportive group here. When you swing and miss the ball, you're going to be receive a lot of support from all clubs. As he chops the ball right in front of the plate, Mr. Purcell is going to pick it up and fire it over to first base for the first out of the inning. There will be no throw made to second, as Mr. Crass is standing on second base with 1 out in the top of the 5th. That will bring up Jimbo to the plate. I still say, in all of my years of travel, one of my most favorite memories of traveling to a vintage baseball match was with the Ohio Village Muffins to Hobart, Indiana, where we were, as Mr. Crass is going to swing immediately at the first pitch. It's going to be straight up in the air, handled no problem by Mr. Purcell with his hands for the second out of the inning. Hobart, Indiana, the Grinders' home field is so unique and wonderful, and they're so much fun. Their hospitality, the meal at the end of the match was insane. And then after that, we ended up at a water park. My brother and I got to, it was closed for the day, and they opened it specifically for the Muffins and the Grinders, and it was like the dream come true for every child, that you were alone in a water park, fully functioning water park with no lines. It was the best day ever. Mr. Stutler, one of the OGs of the Grinders as well, looking to keep the momentum going. He's going to hit a ball straight to the shortstop. He's going to pick it up, fire it across the field, and it will be fielded for the third out of the inning. And that will do it for the final match here in Muffin Meadow of the 31st Annual Ohio Cup Vintage Baseball Festival. The Ohio Village Muffins were able to plate 14 aces while the Deep River Grinders of Hobart, Indiana played it a little less. We've had a fantastic weekend here at the Ohio Cup. For the barrel roller, who's always here in spirit, I'm the Swamp Fox. We're going to let you listen in on the end of match speeches by both clubs. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to thank the Ohio Village Muffins for allowing us to have a presence here at this amazing festival, and I cannot thank all of the clubs enough for such a wonderful weekend. This is Swamp Fox Frias signing off from the 2023 Ohio Cup.
With my last important words having concluded, I will allow Mr. Basala to congratulate the winners of this contest, the Ohio Village Muffins, by a total of 14 runs to 2.
I'm going to leave the congratulations to somebody else on the team. But since I was here in '91, as we're big bat fans, several of you guys. Yeah. Yeah, we're old, so what? But I'm even older, it's okay. We don't hold it against you for introducing us to this great game of vintage baseball. Some of us have been coming here since '93 for the Ohio Cup, and the results are often the same. And I thank you for that. And you don't look great showing up. But as always, I find this very thankful for being here and having our host with the Muffins. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Basala. For those of you that don't know, we were brought part of vintage baseball because of the Muffins, and so therefore there are daddies, and then of course, according to the score, there are still our daddies. Grinders, three huzzahs for our daddies! Hip hip! Huzzah, daddy! Huzzah, daddy!
Thank you, Daddy. Oh, I got one. I'm about out of the ability. I'm excited to hear you. I'm going to turn the speech flying over to Jim before I do. I just wanted to say, all of you that are still around, so many more, but I hope tonight that make this festival possible. I just want to say my sincerest thanks. I'm sure on behalf of the team and the listeners. Appreciate all the volunteer efforts.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for coming out to the final match of the 31st Annual Vintage Baseball Festival. And we like to think of you as mothers. So thank you for that. It is always an honor and privilege to take the field from our friends from Hobart, Indiana. They exemplify the true honor of the game. They exemplify.
Louder!
These are some of the best people that I've ever had the honor and the privilege of playing baseball with. It is truly a privilege to step on the field with them. We thank you for making the trip, and we thank you for future games.
And for letting you win every year.
That's a side thing. Most importantly, we'd like to thank our umpire, Mr. Showman. We'd also like to thank our tally keeper, Miss Amy.
Happy
birthday!
To you!
We'd also like to thank the Ohio History Connection for allowing us to put on this wonderful event every year. Gentlemen, 3 cheers for our good friends from Hobart and for the glory of the game. Hip hip! Huzzah! Hip hip! Huzzah! Hip hip! Huzzah!